Deine Ziele scheinen weit weg, der Neid, der dich zerreißt, ja, er liefert dir keinen Cent, alles Mindset. Du hast Angst, dass die Zeit drängt, merk dir eine Sache, du verlierst, wenn du klein denkst, alles Mindset.
Welcome to the next episode of the Impact Millions podcasts. And for everyone who's used to hear me speak German or to listen to the German podcasts, I have the first English guest today, AJ, aka Mr. Smooth Operator from the 1% Man podcast. So he's an investor, entrepreneur, cyber intelligence expert. So AJ, for everyone who don't know you, just a quick introduction about you, what you do, your background.
Yeah, man, you pretty much, first of all, thank you. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We finally scheduled it. Thank you. Super excited to get into talking to your audience. And I know a bit of German too, because ich kein spreche Deutsch. Okay. I know it's shitty, but I know a little bit.
Better than the most Germans, so it's good.
So yeah, thanks for this invite. Super excited. So yeah, as you introduced, my name is AG. My day job, so to speak, is I'm a cyber intelligence consultant. What does that mean? That means that don't mess with me online because I will find where you are. This is what I do. There you go.
That's a good skill to have, especially in times like now.
Absolutely, right? So you look at Twitter. I've been active on Twitter the last couple of months. I didn't even know what that is. And people attacking me in different ways. And I'm thinking, I don't really care. You think I care what you anons tell me? I don't. Yeah. It's incredible. They think they're trying to hurt me by saying, oh, you're bald. You think I don't have mirrors in my big house? Of course I have mirrors. I know. Oh, it hurt me? No.
Anyway. People on the internet are so interesting. Like, you are bald. Okay, thank you. Wow. Thank you for that. So
it's incredible. It's like they think that's the thing that will break me and I'll be depressed. Like, I've cut my skin. My skin is rhino thick. Okay. When I was 18 years old, 16, 17 years old, I was selling credit cards. This is fucking 20 years ago. Back then, credit cards were like a new thing, cashback and all of that. People considered credit cards next to scammers, and they hated me. And I was doing door-to-door sales. People screaming at me, insulting me, saying, why are you scamming? Fuck off. And I cut my skin through that. You think there's some weird anons going to say something like, oh, I'm crying. It's funny. It's actually nice because without these anons, Twitter is so boring. It's interesting. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, so in the German-speaking countries, Twitter is not that big. I just recently started, and yeah, the English content is more interesting. So if you post in German, or that's like the people are like just not interesting. So I like to check the comments, especially under posts about like the whole like gender thing and stuff like that. People are going after it. So that's really
fun, bro. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, me too. So first question I want to get into, because from my experience, everyone I interviewed, but also the entrepreneurs I know, has like one moment or a story or something what gave them like their drive, their motivation to go after building your own thing, being that 1% man, be like to become that guy. Sometimes it's like because of their parents, sometimes something happened in like their childhood. There's so many different stories. So if I would meet you now, like the 13, 14-year-old AJ, how was your life back then? Did you like, were you the guy in school who did well, or the other side, or the cool kid in school? And do you remember like something that gave you the drive and the motivation to become that person today in your childhood or your teen years?
Okay, a lot of people say there's that one defining moment, but the funny thing about memory is memory can be deceiving, right? This is why when you ask successful people, what is the secret to success? And they'll keep saying hard work, this and this and that. Because when you look back at your life, most of the time you think the defining moments that you had are the are the reason you are where you are, but it's not actually true. If you really dig deep, it's a collection of things that happens during your lifetime that builds you to be the man that you are. Let's say human being, not just man. So it could be trauma, it could be good things, it could be bad childhood, whatever they are. So it all builds up. I don't think people generally at a certain stage hit, especially when they're young and they get to this problem that is, oh, yeah, from now on, I believe in this, so I'm going to be this. Life is too erratic and dynamic to decide like that. For me, it was a collection of things. What I knew since I was young is that I wanted to be powerful. I don't know how to define it. I wanted the person who has the leverage in everything I do in life. So I always imagined myself being there are pictures of me pretending to be the big boss when I was like 6 years old on the phone trying to do deals. Maybe I watched a TV show, whatever, but that always resonated with me. Like, yeah, I want to be somebody with power. And coming from where I'm coming from, and any immigrant, non-white immigrant will understand, that's the odds are kind of against you in the world, especially you're coming from a place where your family members and whoever does not come from any sort of big business background or influence and so on. For you to have high-end ambition and to break through to the whole world, it's a very difficult thing. And any immigrant who's been through a journey and lived in different countries will know what I'm talking about. So to me, it was always about being powerful, and it's not a bad thing. To have advantage was my only goal. So there has been multiple defining moments, but I wouldn't say this moment made me this. Every moment is changing me one way or the other. Even today, something happens that changes and tweaks me to somebody better.
I have like the same feeling when I think back. There was like no exact moment, but I had like a same feeling like you. I always want you to just be the guy. So be like that person, like the boss guy. So I always listened to a lot of American rap back then. So I always was like driving a Rolls Royce and stuff like that. And I think that's a good thing. Nowadays, like they tell young men a lot like, hey, that shouldn't be your goal. Don't be this, don't be that. But I think it's an amazing thing, especially as a man, because it's about building yourself, and that's part of it. So you should have something like that. So I like the example you gave.
Yeah, because like I said, okay, let me just also say it in another way. It's power. Okay, why do guys, especially today's generation, wants to be with these hot girls, or wants to have the Lamborghini and Ferrari, wants to make $1 million? And I speak to on this on my Telegram group, and even the podcast I've spoken about it. $1 million, first of all, is not a big number. Second of all, it's better to make or build a business or have a skill that gives you 20K or 30K every month consistently over a period of 3 to 5 years, and then you do other things, than making that $1 million once in 5 years and calling yourself a millionaire. It's not sustainable. And as you get older and older, you realize, oh, I need some real skills. I need real businesses to be built. So when I say I wanted to be powerful, a couple of people now will say, oh, that's because you're insecure. No, the reason is that I believed I should be respected among every circle that I decide to be in. To be respected, first of all, I need to have self-respect. I need to be convinced with myself that I am a person worthy of getting the respect. So do all of that, I need to build myself up. So that the point is, I have to build myself up to be at a position that I'm respected by every man that I want to associate with. That's the power and leverage I'm talking about. You cannot do that by sitting at your home playing games, jerking off to porn, subscribing to OnlyFans. You cannot do that. You know you cannot do that.
Definitely.
Long answer, but that's the truth.
I have another question about that. So a couple of weeks ago, I posted something like, as a man, you have to build yourself, you have to build your value. And yes, it starts with like respecting yourself. And there was like a girl answering, she's like in this like self-help coaching, especially for women and men and stuff like that, feminine energy and everything like that. And she was answering like it's enough if you like value yourself, and then people are gonna like see the value in you. And I answered, as a man, you can't be delusional like that, because if you just say, hey, I'm good like I am, and you don't do anything, you don't get in shape, you don't build yourself, you're not gonna get what you want. For
Yeah.
girls, and yes, they have to build themselves in another way,
Yeah.
but it's a different game, because if you, let's say, a 4, you still can get a man, a guy. But if you're a guy and you're not in the, like, let's say, top 30 or more, you don't even get like any attention. So, and yeah, so what's your opinion about that?
About men have to build value.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree, of course. But again, most part of the world, so this is a very Western idea, by the way, that men have to build a lot of value. Although I subscribe to that exact thing. My life is all about that. But if you look at Eastern countries, you take places like India or Thailand or any of those countries, it's not necessarily true that you have to become the man or you have to build yourself to the perfect 1% man. Most of the time, most people are, first of all, not meant to be at the 1% level. Most people are not meant to be this ultra powerful man. Most people are happy somewhere in the middle, right? But it also goes back to, what do you define yourself as value? So if you're living in Thailand or Indonesia, wherever, at that point is like, have a house, take care of my mother and father, take care of my family, take care of my children, have a decent life, and don't die, right? For him, the value is that. When we step out of that, because most of the world is exactly that, but when you step out of the Western ideology, you have to have this, you have to have that, you have to build yourself. But at the foundational level, every man has to build himself to take care of his family, take care of his community, take care of his children. They have to. Either that's going to a job, finding a job, and not doing drugs and alcohol, or not getting into jail, whatever that is. So the values are different, but yes, the answer is the way men build value is different from a woman builds value. It's true. You're right on that.
Yeah. And that's something every man needs to understand. So it's because the idea of like just feel like you're great and you're great is not working like people want it to be. To the next question. So you talked a little bit about what you did, how you started, like selling credit cards and everything like that. So how was your journey to become, or what was your path to become the person you are now, or the man you are now, or like the man who is like living this lifestyle, who is like in shape, who makes money, and just became that guy you wanted to be when you were like a kid? So how was your journey there? Because some people, I have stories, I talk to young guys and they're like, yeah, I started this business and now I'm a millionaire, like that. So, and some people have like, I did this, I did that, and this didn't work, and then I tried that. So I'm really curious about like your story, because people see you now, they see your podcast, they see the people you're around, they see how you live, but they don't see what it took, what you needed to do to go there.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So it's been a long journey, man. So when I was growing up, there wasn't much of the space that the men have today, the online space. It wasn't that big. It was basically get your hands dirty, get to work, have a skill, work, start a business, make money. Brick and mortar's old school style, right? Now, I'm not saying internet didn't exist. I'm not saying I'm a dinosaur. The opportunities and the leverage was different. Now it's entirely different. So my journey was long. And first of all, in the beginning, like I said, I was never really interested in becoming rich, to be honest. I was interested in becoming powerful and a man with the leverage, right? So I understand that. With money comes leverage, but when you take today's world, the young guys, crypto guys, and all of those guys, they have money. right? But they have no social, they have no emotional intelligence. They actually don't even respect themselves, and people don't really respect them either. They don't have any leverage. So the idea that money is the core of everything, I don't really believe in it. I never really focused on it anyway. So my journey was basically, I started selling credit cards and I kept developing my sales skills because I knew I'm good at one thing. I know I'm good at talking. I know I'm good at persuading people to do things. So I chose that as a career path. And one core idea that I had was to keep on tweaking and updating myself. So if I'm doing, for example, the podcast itself, I will go so deep into how to communicate, how the camera angle works, the lighting, this and that. I'll go so deep into that topic. And the next time you see me, I'm already 50% better than you saw me last time. So this has been my core idea: self-transform, tweak, 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 tweak. So my journey was getting into sales. And I remember I was selling technology stuff at that time. I was doing pretty okay. And then I ended up starting a business, and I completely went bankrupt because I was too in my head. I was like 24, 25. And I did okay in the first couple of months. And then I ended up, I don't know what cash flow management was, basically. I had a bunch of money coming in. I spent it on a few things. Then I rolled that cash to some other order, stopped taking the advance and so on, and then messed up, went bankrupt. And then I started consulting stuff, and rest is history. So there's lots of story. I've started multiple businesses. I've invested in real estate, crypto, and so on. But it's been a long, slow journey. My idea was not to become rich. My idea was to become powerful. My idea was to have leverage. And my idea was to build my net worth over a long period of time, because I'm no hurry. And the funny thing is, that's the funny thing. When you act like you don't need it, things you need come to you. Because there's a saying that put in the work, don't expect any results out of it. If you know you're doing good and you're staying true to yourself, you put in the work, the universe is going to give it to you one point or the other. It might not be 6 months, might not be 1 year, long period of time, maybe even 5, 6 years. You're going to get all of that together. And then you're at a different level. But the good thing with that is that now you've gone through the journey of evolving yourself. You've learned new things. You've self-transformed. Now you're more disciplined. You have become the man at that point. You're not just a crypto nerd with a bunch of money, a target. You evolve. So, which is what I know people see in me. People don't, when I get together in my groups and so on, we don't talk about, we talk about watches and stuff, or we should talk. But the conversation is never about, the finer things in life. The conversation about what's the next mountain, what are you doing, what's the next thing you're doing, oh, you're doing this, maybe I know this guy. And there's a conversation about pushing each other to the next level. That is more important. And I connect everybody I'm with in every group. I tell, hey, this guy, connect. I'm a connector. So my journey has been a slow, hard journey, and I'm not saying anybody has to follow the way I did, the things I did with my life, but I definitely do recommend people walk the path I walked to become the man. You have to. You will have more losses than wins, but what that does to your psyche is completely different. The way you walk into a room after testing yourself as a man, it's different. People feel that energy. It's true.
Definitely. And you already talked about the guys who catched a crypto pump or something are just not. So from my experience, I had so many moments through the process the last couple of years where I saw like guys who made 10, 20, even 50 million from like just a pump. And I was like, I'm working so much, I'm doing so much, and I'm not there. So not like in a way like, oh, why they and not me, but just
I understand.
So it was like, but now and I talked to a friend yesterday about it, when I look at these guys and they're not in shape, they're not good with women, they just have like that one thing, and it's even not a good thing for most of them, because they don't have the journey and they're not the guy they have to be at that point. And that's something for all the young guys out there. Don't get crazy about it. Just go your way, just work hard, just do your thing, and don't look too much left and right. You never know what's going on, like in the background.
Shiny object syndrome, right? Shiny object syndrome. You pointed out the crypto thing. I've spoken about in the podcast a couple of times. The thing is, once there's a shit coin, let's keep Bitcoin aside. I'm talking about shit coins and the basic crypto pumps. When you get in super early, it's all a scam. We know it's all a scam, but you have to get in super, super early into it. And then you see a coin pump and people get into it. And the wins that you see 99% of the time are the people who jumped in the first. And by the time you hear it in social media and stuff like that, it's already too late. So the winners you see with all this money, you might be thinking poverty in the world is over because everybody's making money in crypto. No, it's just 1%, 0.1% of people who make money in crypto. And it's great that you said that. What happens is when they make this much of money, especially when they're young and they think they're the G, they go around the world, they show their lifestyle, and they become targets. They become targets. Target with women, target with criminals. They get stabbed, shot, their stuff taken off them. And being rich at young is not necessarily a bad thing, but knowing where you stand in the whole world, just because you have money, you cannot come into my group and expect me to respect you. It takes more than money to be in my groups because everybody is rich. What are you trying to say? Oh, you have an AP, everybody has an AP. Don't give a shit. What do you bring to the table? What value do you add? And then you can see how they talk, how they behave. They are a shell of a person. They don't know how to move around in certain circles. And that comes with age also. But the self-awareness that, listen, I got lucky. There's actually luck. There's very low skill involved. I got lucky, but I need to know my position on the chessboard. That's very important. I need to know my position in the group of people. And that's hard to understand when you make so much money. You think that you are the god. And when the crypto season is over, right, where the SEC makes it a security or there'll be tax levied or they get into trouble and the authorities take it off, they have zero skills, right? What skill do you have? Can you go and present something and raise $1 million of investment? You cannot. Most of them cannot because they're socially awkward. So yeah, you have to, having money is good, but understanding where you stand in the group of people is more important. Self-awareness.
Definitely. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's an important one. So like just looking left and right is something that was a hard thing for me also through the process, because I know. Just like the shiny objects everywhere. So it's,
bro, the thing is, people forget that, okay, you are 21, 22, 23 now. You're going to live another 40, 50 years, right? Opportunities will come. There are more and more opportunities coming to you, okay? You didn't make $1 million or $5 million by the time you're 24, but you're healthy. You have your family's okay. If they're okay, everything's good. You still have more opportunities. The main thing men miss at your age and under 30 is that your good time is after 35. Whether that's business opportunities, having leverage in anything in life, and women. You really become a distinguished man after you're 35 to around 45 if you keep yourself fit. Even young women want to be with you because you have something about you at that point in time. Your sort of character and personality is more refined. So good times are coming. There's no point rushing into it. Build yourself up. Good times are coming. Forget all this bullshit. This 1% people who convert their money to $5 million. Forget all that. Build your skill. Understand that if you're 24, you still have 10, 15 years. After that is your golden time. Don't forget that. There you go.
What was your biggest setback? You already talked a little bit about when you were 24 and the company, but do you have like one thing or one moment or multiple ones where you had like really to fight really hard to just get out of? Maybe, I don't know, maybe you lost a lot of money or something else. So every man and everyone knows that they're like, life is about like struggling and growing and getting better. So you have like one moment, one thing you remember where you had really to just go after it, to leave that bad circle or this moment?
Okay. So when you play, so my personality is very simple. I look at every situation based on possibilities. It's the same with the business opportunity, anything that I do in life. I look at it as a possibility that it could work. And that is a superpower, because I know I'm self-aware. I know where I lack and where my strengths are. And I look everything with a possibility, because I believe I can do it. I believe I can pull this off, right? I believe I can accomplish what I want to accomplish, no matter how hard it is. It's a great thing, but it's also a bad thing because you take more risks. So my mind is wired towards taking risk. And the thing with the risk is, it's a cousin of luck. If you're accepting risk, there is luck involved. Most people don't want to, they want to be lucky. They want to have every lucky opportunity, everything lucky happen to them in their lives, but they ignore the luck's closest cousin, risk. When there's luck, there's risk. There's risk, there's luck. So I have involved myself in so many things, business ventures and so on, that if you take a list, if you tally and weigh it, I have more losses than wins. But that's okay, because all you need is a one win to propel you. You can have 10 losses, money, whatever, but as long as you're moving forward and not stopping, one victory changes the whole game. So, sorry, I lost the track of the question. What was the question again?
Your biggest setback, and
sorry, yes,
just left it.
So since I was 8 years old, I had this idea in my head that somebody will interview me at some point and ask me what's the secret of success. How did you do all of this? The secret of success, right? Honest to God, I've never told this to anybody, but I always thought that way. And my life, I can tell you different stories in different times. I have lost a lot of money, made a lot of money. But when I look back, the whole journey of me becoming who I am was the setback and the victory for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To become who I am, that I want to become. Like I say, I tweeted this a couple of weeks ago, that if my 8-year-old comes back in a time capsule and sees me live my day-to-day life, he'll be absolutely proud of me. I know he'll be proud of me, right? So the whole journey of me becoming who I am to this day and who I'm going to become has been the biggest setback for me, because it was a journey that I had to go through. Now I can sit and tell you I lost this much money, lost that much money. Through it all, I always believed I can be this guy that I am today. So there you go. Probably not the answer you expected, but
it's a good answer. I think the belief and to hold that when it gets tough, that's really important.
Bro, I know what it means to be broke. I know what it means to be broke when you're young. I know what it means to be broke when you were rich once, and then you're still in the same circle, but you have literally zero money. I know the feelings, the embarrassment, the self-doubt that sets in. I know it all. There is no, I'm not saying I'm some Superman, but I know how it feels like. So I have now at this point, what I do, when my life is actually really good, I put myself through tough situations, right? Because I know when it's actually really good, somewhere down the line, trouble is coming for me. So this is why a lot of people get depressed and upset and give up on life, because when life was really good for these people, they would enjoyed it so much. They enjoyed their life so much. They ate and drank and chill and all of that stuff, right? And when times got tough, they were not ready for it. Their mind was still in the happy days, and they couldn't adjust to it. So what every man should always do is to always test yourself. Like I still do sometimes 24 to 48 hour fast. Some days I will drink water but eat no food. Some days I will not drink any water. Some days I will just go for running for like an hour or so. Some days I will just go sparring and get beaten up by professional fighters, or go live in some mountain area where there's literally nothing. You have to eat a $1 sandwich. Imagine eating a $2,000 sandwich and then eating a $1 sandwich tastes like shit from a roadside shop, like somewhere not clean, nothing. So testing yourself, reminding yourself, listen, life is great, but trouble is coming down the line. That's a fact of life, is ups and downs. So yeah, that's my answer to you.
Really important. So you gave a couple examples. Go to the gym, start fighting. If you're an entrepreneur, you have consistent challenges. If you want to grow, put yourself out there. Also important. For me, it was speaking in front of people. It was like unbelievable hard. So now it's amazing. So, and the same thing is with fighting. So I think that's one of the things everyone can do now. They can sign up for a
Mm.
boxing gym and just learn they are not as strong as they think they are. Because that's the thing with men. Everyone thinks, yeah, I'm when I'm in a fight, I do this and that and this.
You don't know, bro. When I get angry, I'm gonna grab you. I have some friends who are gym freaks. Are like, yeah, bro, you do boxing and whatever, but I'm so much bigger. I'm just gonna grab you. He's like, you fucking idiot. You think I will let you grab me the second you come close? Jab, cross, hook, you're finished.
Yeah.
No, but you're wearing gloves. Okay, without gloves too. Self-awareness, bro. People don't have any self-awareness. They don't know where their weaknesses are.
Yeah, I think that's important. And what's important for that is to have the right people around you, to have the right brotherhood, especially as a man. So to just people who check on you and say, hey, what are you doing? What's going on? When did you start to drink that much? When did you did this? When did you did that? So that's really important to have people like that who are not pushing this behavior. People who like say, hey, why are you doing that? So, and in your opinion, why is a strong brotherhood for a man important? And what's your experience with that? How did like a strong brotherhood help you through your process?
Yeah, you're right. It's like a compass, right? It tells you which direction you need to go to. It's or a GPS map. Brotherhood is exactly a GPS map or a compass. I understand a lot of people won't have the right kind of brotherhood to get into, but if you get together with 2 or 3 people who have the same value sets, like I want to do this with my life, I want to improve myself, I want to do this and this, I want to be successful, rich, whatever, that's a brotherhood. It could be your own brother, it could be a group of 2, 3 people, yeah, you go up together and so on. And it really serves as a GPS system, like you are accountable to each other. Yeah, we talk fun, you do degenerate stuff and so on, but there's like a standard that you have to withhold within the group. If you drop from that standard, you're gonna know. They will tell you, oh bro, you're getting fat, you're drinking too much, you're smoking too much, you're talking too much shit, you're wasting too much time. And there is no, and that can be aggressive and direct, but that's what some people need. But most of the common circles, people get together, have drinks, they talk about some movie, some Netflix shit, some girl, blah blah blah, which has no real fundamental value to them or to the guy they're speaking to. So a brotherhood is a group of people who push themselves. There's a common law within a brotherhood. Like, listen, you have to behave this way. You have to have these value sets. You have to be doing this, this, and this. So that brotherhood is super important, especially when you're growing up and when you're growing older. When you have no money, when you have money, you need that brotherhood because that balances you out properly. And it's absolutely fundamental to everything that you do. And also another part of brotherhood is that they can be a substitute for your weakness. For example, I have a business idea, right? But I don't have the persuasion skills to persuade somebody to give me the investment, for example, or buy my product. But one of my brothers are good at speaking. He can do social media content and he can make the stuff for me and pitch it for me. And he can be my 20% partner. So a brother is almost like a superhero team that balances your weakness with your strengths. And then you go together as an army towards. And it's super, super important. Without a compass or GPS, you're just driving around in circles, no?
That's a really great example.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone takes notes. I always tell that don't write everything down, but take a couple notes. It's highly likely you're going to remember it if you write it down. And think about the notes after you listen to the podcast. So because
if they're actually listening or just scrolling and looking at other things as well. Attention span is the most valuable product now. Attention is the more valuable product.
Yeah, 100%. So we talked about brotherhood. We talked about having the right people around you. And to attract people like that, there are many ways you can buy into a mind mastery group. You can do certain things, but a real brotherhood, not just people you talk business about, but it's like just meeting once a month, that's it, is harder to find. And to attract these people, you need to be that guy first. You need to be the 1% man, like your show is called. So we talked a little bit about it. You said a couple things, but specifically for everyone who is listening now, how can they become a 1% man if they really want it? Not everyone wants it, just a couple ones really want it. But how to go there?
Oh, textbook idea of 1% man is basically somebody who makes $400,000 and above. This is a 1% man. But the show, when I created the show, it wasn't about, like I said, it wasn't about the money. It's about what you represent. To become a 1% man, or I would consider somebody 1% man who's either maxed out in all of the key areas they need to be maxed out, or trying to max out, meaning they are actually physically fit, right? It doesn't mean you have to be a bodybuilder. At least know how to defend himself, because if he knows how to defend himself, he can defend his family, his brothers, and so on. Have a good foundation of mindset, meaning not someone who's emotionally out of control. And that's a tough thing to do, but you need to have a foundation. What do I mean by that is not involving yourself into too much chaos, where you're not drinking too much, you're not just meeting random women too much, you're not spending money gambling too much, or not doing it at all. But there is some sort of center, so some sort of grounding. A man who knows his weaknesses and strength, a man who's self-aware, and a man who tries to push himself, try to improve himself, tweak himself, and so on. To do all of this stuff, first of all, you need to be physically strong. Like in Twitter, a lot of guys, to push their shit courses, they will say, if you don't have 10K a month, if you don't make 10K a month, you have no business going to a gym. If you don't have $500,000, there's no business you talking to a girl. Bullshit art. They're all grifters, bro. It's all grifting. If you're not physically fit, what is the point of having, just like the crypto dudes, what's the point of having this money and you don't even respect yourself? There's no point. If you can't lift 30 kilos over your head or 25 kilos, just a weak pussy. There's no value to it. So you should always test yourself. You should be physically strong as a man. That should be your number one thing. And that does not mean you have to be a bodybuilder. That means you have to have some discipline towards your physical prowess. You should be proud of how you look, right? And then the mental thing is key. You need to be centered and grounded. It could be spiritual. It could be non-spiritual, but there should be some central grounding to who you are as a person. You shouldn't be, flying around like a kite. There's a saying: don't be a kite in the wind. Don't just flutter around. You need to be grounded mentally. That can be spirituality and so on. And then you need to be trying to max out your skills. So to put it all together, everybody has some sort of skill that they have. Some people might be good at talking. Some people might be good at technical stuff. Some people might be good at making money. I don't know. You need to find out what's that one thing that you're really good at and max out on that thing. You need to go all in, no matter what everybody says, max out, whether that's physical looks or whatever I said, making money, whatever. You need to find out what you're good at, and that's your responsibility. Nobody can tell you that. And then max out on that, be physically strong, have a solid mindset, meaning be grounded. And then you literally either on the way to become a 1% man or you're a 1% man. And then if you make money on top of it, great, bro. But I'm not saying, the reason I'm saying I'm taking money out of the equations, and not a lot of people can make $100,000 in a month or $1 million in their lifetime. That's not realistic. Not everybody can be rich. Let's just cut out the bullshit. The whole thing in the digital world that you buy this, you can be a millionaire. No, that's not true. Very few people actually make big money, and that's okay. You don't have to make millions of dollars. You don't need to have the supercars. As long as you know what you're good at and you're maxing out on all of those things, you are a happy, content man. Let's not purport this bullshit to make people more depressed. You don't need all this money that you think you need. You want people to respect you. You want to be respected. You need to have leverage. And you need to be a man who's contributing to the community, taking care of your family, and so on. Those are more valuable than having some bitches and cars and so on, because that gets really old really fast. Trust me. All the guys who keep saying all this stuff back at the back, offline, they're not that happy. I'm not saying it's not a good thing, but if all you focus is on that and you don't focus on the rest of the things, at some point you're going to say, I'm kind of bored of all this. You know? So maxing out on your strengths, being mentally grounded, and making sure you're physically combat ready or at least fit are the key elements to be a 1% man. Long answer.
Good answer.
Thank you.
So the 1% man, or let's call it successful people, you met a lot of them, you have a lot of people like that in your circle, and there's like some things everyone has in common for the most part, especially like successful people. What do you think, or from your experience, are 1, 2, 3 things all of them have like in common in a way?
Great question. What I have seen in a lot of these people that I hang out with, and from myself too, there is a rebel inside all of them. All of these people who have made it have a rebel inside them. And I'm not saying just money part. I'm truly talking about people who are 1%, who are doing good physically, mentally, the relationships and so on. Those phenomena. There is a rebel inside them. They don't believe in any limitations, and they're not going to accept any limitations. They just have too much balls. Whether they say it or they know it or not. Every time I talk to them, that's all I see. I can see whatever they're trying to say, like the episode I did with Carlos, my brother, also the XE of G2, Justin Wall. All of these people, when you listen to what they're really saying, is saying, I'm not going to accept any limitations. I will do what I want to do. I will not stop. You are not going to stop me. I will not stop. And that is ingrained. That's in their DNA. You can throw them any problems, they'll come back from it. You can say anything you want to them, they'll come back from it. And that is the most important thing to become the man. And that is what I always see in all of these guys. They will not accept the limitation. They will not bend down. They will not take a knee. If they want to do something, they will do it.
By the way, recommendation, the episode you did with Carlos was amazing. I gave you feedback about that. So for everyone who is not listening to the 1% Man Show, it's in the show notes. Check it out. It's a great podcast. I'm listening to a lot of podcasts, so I'm really thinking about like I'm gonna start to listen another one. I'm not sure about that because it's more time. So you're like, but definitely I listen to one of the episodes and just stick with this. So recommendation.
Yeah, Carlos' episode is special because Carlos has a very good story.
Yeah.
And it's a very recent story. And he is like that. He's exactly that. He's exactly a rebel. He will not accept any limitations. And any successful man, you dig down to his stories, that's what he will always say. This happened to me, I didn't accept it, and I did this, now I won't. And that's, I don't know if it's by birth or you can develop a skill, but I think if I really look into my life and other people that I know, it's kind of in your DNA. It's where you come from, really. It's that immigrant hustle sort of thing. You can't buy the immigrant hustle. That's a different it's a different thing.
Yeah.
We should make a t-shirt called Immigrant Hustle. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, like let's do merch. Like
let's do merch. Let's do merch.
Like with the podcast. Like I think that's a good idea. I think merch is always good, especially stuff like that. So you live in Dubai. So I have a lot of friends moving to Dubai or moving their companies to Dubai for a part, and more. And I was in Dubai the first time for New Year, 2018. We stayed at the Atlantis. It was really, really cool. So, and I saw the city, I met people, and it changed already since like 2018 really fast. And they're like really interesting people in Dubai. There is like so much inspiration. So in your, like, from your view, because you're a little bit longer in Dubai already, or you know it a little bit more than other people. So what are the real benefits?
Bro, I've been here before Burj Khalifa was built. I've been here before the trains came. I was been here before Dubai Mall was built. We only have one big mall. I've seen it all.
Wow. So why do you think Dubai is the place of the future, and why are people coming to Dubai? And especially people who are smart in a way, or many of them, let's say many of them.
Dubai really changed. The world noticed Dubai post-COVID, or during COVID time. Around COVID, like 2020-ish, it really popped out because the world completely changed with regulations and laws and so on. Dubai was one of those places who have heavily invested in infrastructure back from like 2000, I would say 2004 and so on. Their focus was to build infrastructure as much as they can. People think it's all just buildings and malls. It was by design. That's exactly what Dubai wanted to do. They wanted to build world-class infrastructure, then build systems around it to bring in talent. Right now, there's lots of sort of policies and rules and visa procedures that brings in good talent into the country, scientists, business owners, investors, and so on. And they're trying to build this community. And there's so many more parks now. The schools are so much better. Big universities are here. So they're really building this utopia and literally zero crime. And there's building this utopia for all people who are ambitious, want to have a great life, want to have sun, eat great food. It's not a democracy, but it has a democratic flavor. And people can come, live, enjoy their lives and do stuff like that. And I don't see there's any other place. I mean, Miami, I do like. Miami is one of the only places in the US I actually like as a big city. The people are good. Yeah, and there's no drug. There is, but there's very few drug epidemic and homelessness in Miami, like especially Night Center and all those places. So Miami is cool, but it's like a poor version of Dubai, to be honest. It's an old place anyway. So Miami is okay. There are only few countries or places that you can really go where you can actually become a free sovereign individual or do the things you want to really do, right? Yes, there are laws in Dubai. You cannot do certain things, but the laws are very bare minimum. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Everything else you can do. Be respectful. Don't insult anyone's religion. Don't do drugs. Don't drink. There are some basic rules that people in the Western countries take for granted. So where else is there to go? It's more of a demand and supply sort of thing for UAE. It's the right timing. They've invested decades into building this whole place, and now it's ready. So people are coming in. And it's especially good for young guys because, like you said, there's a lot of networking opportunities, people ambitious. Everybody comes here, they have to build the leverage they need to build. They have to build who they are. Meaning, if you have money, you come here. Let's say you're from Germany and you come here with $500,000. You here are nobody. Now you have to reset and start building yourself again. So it gives everybody a reset and an even level, right? We're all immigrants here. We're all expatriates here. So we get the same opportunities as you go forward. And that's why it's beautiful, man. I don't see any other place better than Dubai.
And it all comes down to the leader in companies and countries. We see it in many countries. And this is why Miami is different, because the mayor of Miami is in shape. He gets paid in crypto. So like there's so many things. You just see that person, you know why this city is different. You see LA and like all the other things. So I love Dubai as well. So last time we did a call and you gave me a great example what you would recommend me and my guys to do, like where to live and what to do. So that was a good one, like a mix between Marbella, Dubai, and like Central Europe. So I think
that's a good mix, right? So the point of having money, people don't really think this through. The real point of having money is to do whatever you want with whomever you want, as long as you want, whenever you want. That's the point of money. What does that mean? Having freedom to move around wherever you want to move around, being a sovereign free individual. That is a key thing. But there's no point sticking to one single place, especially when you're young. So that's why I recommended to you that Dubai is great, but stay here a couple of months, then Marbella, Miami if you want to, and Germany. If you mix it all together, set up business in all these places, move your cash around. That's a great way to live, right? And then you don't need millions of dollars to do it. You need businesses that make you 10, 20, 30K. And then you can move around this. And then when you're ready to settle, you can choose one or two places and move around there too. I stay here. I still travel a lot, but I stay here because I really love Dubai. I'm just too comfortable in my utopia bubble, right? So I prefer Dubai. But if I was younger, like so like some of your listeners, I will be moving around. There's no point rooting myself in one single place.
Yes, that's great advice. That's the advice my grandma gave me as well a couple days ago. Just move, just do something. I think traveling is one of the best personal development you can do, especially for people like in like Austria, Germany, people who are like first world countries, to just see how different the world is. And that's something I'm grateful for. I traveled so much, like from like 18 to 26. And this is just why I see things different. And I think but what you said as well. So you can't like just copy this like immigrant hustle, but you can create yourself like your own type of like inspiration, motivation, and why you want to do what you do. And what I've experienced, sometimes it's amazing to have a goal that's not just about you, that's also about other people, that gives you this like extra like drive and motivation as well.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
So I'm going to do it like you recommended to me. I think that's a really good idea. So, and whenever you leave Dubai and you're going to come to Vienna, like hit me up, I show you around. It's not too bad.
I've been to Vienna. It's not really impressed. I mean, it's like whatever. I've been to a couple of places in Vienna. When was this? A few years ago. I was like, okay. I prefer Germany. To be honest, I like Germany. When people ask me what's your favorite country, it will be one of them will be Germany. They're like, what, Germany? Autobahn. I'm a car lover. I can love Autobahn. There's no other place like Autobahn. And if you go to the north of Germany, the food is actually really good. The real authentic German food is actually pretty yummy. I like it. The beer is amazing. So,
got it.
one of my favorite places.
So let's get into the questions we asked the people on Instagram, and I posted it also on WhatsApp, and there was a couple of questions. And yeah,
Okay.
many of them
from the haters. Is it from the haters?
No, actually not really, with like really positive questions.
Oh,
So
I missed my Twitter anons. Okay.
no one was hating because you're bald or something like that. So it was all nice.
It works for me with the women, so I don't really care. So
Yeah,
what do you want?
I believe that, and it saves time, I heard. So let's get into the first question I choose from them. So what value or values can a woman give a man, from Jennifer Lentz? So
what value can a woman give to the man?
Yeah.
In what context? In general?
Yeah, I think it's general, especially more like, let's say, high value men, what they are looking for. I guess that's the question.
Wasn't there was a recent debate in the Red Spill space on what a high value man is, and nobody couldn't answer that question?
Yeah.
Bunch of grifters. Okay, so what value? Okay, so when you talk about a high value man, meaning a man who's trying to max out, like I said before, with all his strengths and his life, that's a high value man, and also money. So with the man, obviously the woman needs to be the team player. A lot of feminists won't like what I say, but a man who's running towards a target, okay, doesn't need another person, doesn't need to hold on to another person and pull that person together. That person should be the team player. Like, you're an F1 car trying to finish the race the shortest amount of time. You are one of the key engineers in the team, or you are the head engineer. And that's what a woman's role should be. And so a woman's role should be supporting him wherever he needs to be supported. Be that feminine, nice energy, not this masculine energy. Like, yeah, I'm going to compete with you too. We're going to do this, da, da, da. It's a more of a caring, feminine energy, a soft energy that tells the man, you know what, baby, no matter what happens, I still love you. It's okay. Maybe you messed up. It's okay. I'm there for you. So it's like women understand they have that superpower. Men are so much more you can manipulate a man so much easier by being truly caring. We are weak. Strong as men are weak because of women who give them that care, that motherly care, let me just say. So a woman who supports a man like that and truly makes him feel valuable. Like ask him questions, make him feel like the man. Ask him questions. Maybe help me with this, and that. Okay, can you help me do this? What's your opinion of this thing? Men love being asked questions by their women. And when you go out in groups and dinners like that, serve the guy, ask him if you want water or not, make him look good. That's basically it. Care for him, be that strong, be that soft feminine energy, make him understand that he's valued, ask him questions, ask him help. And when you guys go outside, always portray your man as a Superman. There's nothing more attractive to a man when his woman really looks up to him. So, but the counter side to that, you need to be deserving and worthy enough for the woman to submit to you or be respectful to you. You can't be a sloppy, video game playing guy with no ambition. Women don't respect that. You're not supposed to get respect from anybody doing stuff like this. That's my answer.
Good one. I hope, Jennifer, that answered your question. So next one, and then I'm gonna ask that from Fight Gecko. His name is Fabian. He's also like in our space and has a big like fighting online course. So it's really interesting.
Right.
And he
fighting online course. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a really good one. Actually, it just launched. So shout out to him. He asked, what color is your Bugatti? So.
Blue, motherfucker, blue. That's a Bugatti. This was drawn by my precious angel, my daughter, right? I'm very close to my daughter. She's the number one most important person in my life. She's my angel, literally. Everything great happens to my life because of her. And we are super close. And for some reason, a couple of weeks ago, she drew this thing for me. Because we both love cars. We go on rides in my car and so on. She loves cars too. And she drew me a blue Bugatti. So what color is your angel's Bugatti, bro?
That's a great answer. That's a great one. So maybe it's a sign. So maybe there's like, you never know, there's a Bugatti coming.
Like I said, I don't really care about the Bugattis.
Yeah.
The thing with supercars and stuff like that, once you own a few of them, you're like, okay, fine. Who are you flexing to? Broke boys? It's like, this is exactly like in the gym, right? Most guys think once they build muscle, women are going to go, oh my God, you're so sexy, give me your number. No, most of the admiration you're getting is from dudes.
Yeah.
What was the point? Unless you like dude, what was the point of it? There's zero, bro. What do you do? How much bench pressing? How much protein you eating? What's your meal plan? That's what you talk about. Same with cars, right? In the group of successful men, everybody has a Ferrari, Lamborghini, whatever. That's okay. This new F8 came out. Cool, nice car. Maybe we'll buy it. That's it. End of conversation. It's cool. I drove it. I drove one. That's it. The most people you're going to impress are little boys and broke boys. But unless you're selling a course to them, what is the point? There's really no point.
Yeah. Really good answer. So next one, that's maybe an easy one to answer. So what is your favorite like quote about like life or something you have in mind all the time, some quote or some sentence you maybe just recently saw on social media or something like that, a quote that stuck with you?
I have, so my phone is full of stuff that my notepad, so I use my phone like a weapon. All my future tweets, video ideas, everything is on there. Every idea that I have I voice record myself and leave it there or put stuff like that. And then I have a section of quotes that I think about or read once in a while and so on. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I want to say exactly the same way.
What's interesting, I do almost the same thing. So that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's your weapon. You got to use it like a weapon. I'm not able to find it somewhere here.
So
So sorry, what's that again?
No, I'll let you. All good.
Yeah, so I can't find that quote. So basically, it's like 5,000 notes in there. There's something there are two. What you do when no one's watching is what defines who you're successful. And there's the other thing, what you do on a day-to-day basis is what you truly believe in. And that quote is kind of very deep, because if you are being sloppy with your life, are you making bad decisions all the time, or you're eating bad, training, so on, and then you think, okay, all I need is motivation. No, the problem is at the very core subconscious level, your lizard brain believes the opposite what you think you want to believe, right? So what do you do on a day-to-day basis, the actions that you take repeatedly, the same things that you keep doing on a regular basis, comes from what you believe in truly. So if you're eating shit food, and then you're saying, yeah, one day I'm going to change, it's all about this, it's all about motivation. No, you actually don't believe in being healthy. Your actions show what your values are. So instead of changing the action, this is what the idea of the point is, instead of changing the action, going direct with it, change it on a subconscious level. You're playing mind games with yourself on a day-to-day basis. And most of the mind game and criticism that you get is from your conscious mind. People forget there's a subconscious mind, which is very neutral. And you cannot bullshit your subconscious mind, which is why law of attraction doesn't really work. Because if you keep saying, I'm going to make $1 million, I'm going to make $1 million, your subconscious mind is saying, no, motherfucker, you have no skills. How are you going to get $1 million? But your conscious is like, believe, no. You have to convince your subconscious mind. How do you do it? You have to take actions. It's like a counteraction. It's a full circle. Unless you take actions to prove to your mind otherwise, you are never going to do those things. Your values remains the same, and your results will end up being the same. So what you do on a regular basis is what in reality your values are. Well, that's what you really believe. Let's be honest. So that's one of the quotes I really think about all the time. So when I mess up and I'm lazy, I'm thinking, okay, so maybe I believe that I should be lazy. Maybe I believe that I don't deserve it. No, I actually believe I deserve it. So I change the thought, and change by the effect of that, I change my action.
Great answer. I've one quote that fits really well. So because the question were for both of us, it's from Alex Hormozy. Yep. And it's, you don't become confident by shooting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are, outworking the self-doubt. That's one that stuck with me a lot. So there's one more question I want to answer there. Like most of them we kind of like answered through the interview, but there was like one from a young guy, and I think that's a good one to answer. So ways as a 15-year-old to make money in India.
Oh, wow. Good question. 15-year-old, sell something. Set up an online business. The answers are simple, but e-com business, something online. What does money mean? Is he talking about $100, $500? I don't know. But what I truly believe in, that no matter what happens to the whole world, whatever the world is going to go to, if you have the skill to persuade somebody to give something to you, which is, we can call it sales or persuasion skills and so on, you're never going to be broke. You're going to make money. You'll find a job, raise investments, sell something, talk somebody into letting you stay at their house because you're broke, you're homeless. You need skills to convince people. So if you can build the sales skill or persuasion skills in general and how to communicate, you're going to make money. So I would go build that before thinking how I can make money, because once I build it, I'm guaranteed to make some money. So yeah, sales, communication, persuasion skills.
So let's go into the last part of the interview, and that's something I like.
By the way, I'm not used to getting, I'm a good host. I know I'm a good host. I hope I'm a good guest. I'm not used to being asked questions. So it's a different thing altogether. It's a different skill.
But it's great. I think your answers are really like on point. I like that a lot. A lot of people are like drifting away from like the point, and then I'd like people answering me 25 minutes to one question, like just talking. So that's, you're like really, really on point. So I like that, and 100% the people listening as well. So
awesome.
The next part, or the last part, is I'm gonna like say a name or a word, and you know your first
rapid fire.
Yeah. First thought in let's say one word to one sentence. So like what's in your mind, the first thing. So when you're ready,
Okay.
we start.
Okay, let's go.
Right into it. So first one is Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate's Top G.
Los Angeles.
Shithole.
Okay. Dubai.
Utopia.
Rolex.
Great watch.
Okay. Marry or married, being married.
It's privilege.
Next one is BBC or mainstream news.
BBC broadcasting, yes, is a bunch of sloppy, old school, conventional thing that's going to die.
Yes. Life.
Possibilities.
Dream.
Dream.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Gender.
Gender. There's only two genders, male and female.
Right. That was all the words. So the last final question I have for you now, and that's something I love to ask because I think every young man listening to that, or every man is listening because they want to get something out of that. They want to have something and say, hey, I'm listening to that. Yes, it's fun, it's cool, it's nice information, but I would say like the people listening to our podcast people who want to improve.
Yeah.
So just imagine like you sitting in front of the young AJ, 18 years old, and you have the opportunity now to give him advice in 15 to 30 seconds. So it's like you travel back in time and you have the opportunity to give him something for his path. So it doesn't matter what it is. It can be about business. It can be just something you want to tell him to make it maybe better for him, or to whatever it is. So what would you tell this young man?
Okay, you got me there. Well, I've thought about this many times. I would tell him that any self-doubt that you have within you, you should completely destroy it, because you're meant to do the things you're meant to do. You're meant for this. Destroy all your self-doubt and do what you need to do. And I always know what I need to do, but self-doubt was a thing that crippled me when I was younger. So I would tell him, bro, don't have any self-doubt. You are you're built for this. Do it, is what I would say.
Great answer. That was the last question. It was an amazing interview, like first English one. I can talk to you for hours. So I love just like, I think you should be more on the other side at podcasts, and you're gonna be in the future. I believe that 100%. So
you mean as a guest?
Yeah, as a guest. Yeah. So thank you for your time. So I really appreciate that. So the first English guest, it's not I'm not a big podcast that like now. So in the future,
sure. It doesn't, like we discussed before, right? It's about the reason I started the podcast was because I wanted to give back something. I always wanted to share my journey, not my journey, my life experience, or the struggles and the wins and so on, the lessons. I always wanted to share the lessons. I've always been a guy who wanted to teach people. So that's why I call myself Uncle AG online, because I'm coming from a different place. I'm coming in as a teacher to especially young guys. I'm not saying I did everything perfectly. I'm not saying I'm saying everything correctly. And like I said, you don't have to live the life I lived. You don't have to believe the things I believe, but you do have to walk the path I walked. And I'm still walking to become the man. It's very important. So I want to share that teaching to the world. So it doesn't matter, your podcast has 10 people or 100,000 people. It doesn't really matter. I am not trying to do YouTube to make money. it's like a project that I really care about. And I'm sure that is why you do it too. There are benefits to it, great. But the main idea is to share this message to people and bring everybody together, compared to the other message where it's confusing and depressing a lot of young men. Give them a neutral ground of ideas to play with and share these lessons and guide them. That's all. So I'm super happy. Thank you for inviting me. Looks like I'm also an okay guest, so I'll try to do more podcasts too. And thank you for everybody who's watching 1% Man, like, share, all that stuff. Appreciate your support. It's a great thing doing it. Podcasting it's a fun and a difficult job, but it's very enjoyable.
100%.
Yeah.
So, and whenever I'm gonna be in Dubai, I definitely gonna get a cigar with me for you. So
Absolutely.
100%.
I'm going to take you to the best cigar lounge in Dubai. Trust me.
I'm pumped for that. I'm booking the flight right after after the call.
Do it. Let's do it.
So thank you for your time. Thank you for everyone who was listening. Like, share, subscribe, give us feedback in the comments, post stories. Feedback is always amazing.
Yeah.
I hope, and I'm pretty sure you got a lot of good stuff out of the interview. So for the people used listening to my podcast in German, give me honest feedback about the English episodes. Do you want to hear more about that? Should I mix it up? And thank you again for everyone. Thank you for your time. See you next week, 6 p.m. Monday, Impact Millions podcast, and check out all of the links I post from AJ. So see you.
Impact Million. Let's go.
Let's go.